Hey everybody, Raul here for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we have the extraordinary honor and pleasure of chatting with none other than Jonny Rubin, also known as Dr. Funk. Yay! Jonny, we've got so many exciting things to talk about, but as always, we like to start from the beginning. How did you get started in music and particularly on bass?
So my dad was a guitar player, but the main reason I got into it, my cousin was a really good guitar player from a young age. And it's actually a pretty funny story. So he got a drum kit when he was a kid, like an electric drum kit for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to my mum, I need a drum kit. I was like, look, Paul's got one, I need one, you know. We were buying one on Tesco.com online. And she goes, oh, how about you try the bass, because it's 20 quid cheaper for the bass starter pack. And I was 12 years old, you know, I didn't play an instrument, and I was like, go ahead then, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I started bass. I wanted to be a drummer. Well, I guess that's where the slapping comes from, I guess. I don't know, some stuff, you know.
Indeed. Well, the bass is one of those wonderful instruments where you have both the melodic aspect, but the percussive. And certainly with what you play, because you are as a multi-instrumentalist and you do a lot of busking, you need to have all of those elements because you're doing your own percussion. Yeah. So technically you are your own drummer.
Well, that's the thing. I'm so glad that I'm not a drummer, because, you know, when you go to a gig and they're setting up all the gear for about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Plugging a couple of wires.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And are you self-taught, or once you got started on the bass, did you take any formal training? Or
when I was in school, so I started when I was about 12, so I got some lessons off a guitar teacher. He wasn't a bass player, he was a guitar player, so he taught us like just the major scales and a few scales and that. And then once I left, I just started teaching myself YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. I've got this DVD. This slap bass DVD that I watched on repeat, you know?
Yeah. Nice. Well, and do you have a particular bassist that has served as your primary inspiration, or maybe a handful of ones that really...
Well, yeah, there was from the start, like it's changed, you know, since like I was younger. Like I wasn't really into funk until I was like 16, you know, 15, 16. So it was all classic rock and blues. And so I loved John Paul Jones. Led Zeppelin was my favourite band of all time, you know. And then once I started growing up, I was getting more into like funk and stuff, like Larry Graham, Louis Johnson and that. And then I discovered Victor Wooten, and through Victor Wooten, I found Marcus Miller. Mm-hmm. And then he became my obsession for the past 12 years. Like, just the way it's so simple but so effective. So I've just been trying to learn the double thumb technique for years, which I'm still not that good at, you know. But yeah, Marcus Miller's my main inspiration, and I actually met him on the Jazz Cruise. I played on the Jazz Cruise in January this year. One of the best times of my life, right? You know.
Nice. Well, Marcus he's always a very cool cat, and he's amazing, and as is Victor and everybody else that you've mentioned. Now, interestingly enough, your approach, I know you do quite a bit of busking, which for people that may not be as familiar, you set up in a location and you are technically kind of a one-man band where you're doing it all. How did that get started? What made you want to do that?
It started when I was about 15, actually. Like, me and my friend went out, we used to play harmonica. Mm-hmm. And we went out with 2 harmonicas and would just hit the floor like that. And you know, harmonicas, like, we're kids, you know. So we made about three quid or something, and we were happy with that.
Yeah,
we were like, we've actually made money, you know. So then once we got a bit older, we got the guitars and we started playing in the subways in Newcastle. Mm-hmm. And on this just little 1-watt Marshall speaker, you know. And then moved down to Newquay in Cornwall. So I'm from the northeast, Sunderland, and I moved to the southwest of England, where we started a band there, and started busking as a band. and we were doing really good, like at the start, And then everyone started just busking by themselves because you can make more money. You didn't have
Yeah.
to split the money. And it left me like, what am I gonna do? I can't sing,
Yeah.
So I got this loop pedal and just started with a loop pedal and just took off later. I did it around the world, went Barcelona, went viral in that in Barcelona, Portugal. Had the best time.
Nice. Well, one of the beauties of busking is, of course, it allows you to pick very scenic locations if you want, and it's also because there's a lot of people there for the same reason.
Yeah,
I remember seeing your video from Barcelona. I've walked along that stretch in front of Barceloneta, and that I'm like, oh yeah, perfect. I could totally see why that would be a great place to be.
oh mate, it's the best. Like, just I mean, I'm in California now,
Hmm.
and like the weather's a lot better than the UK. So, but like it's hot, man. Like
Yeah.
I've been going every weekend down Huntington Beach, and it's so hot. Like I can only play for like 2 hours. Usually I do three, but by the end of 2 hours, I'm just absolutely sweating, exhausted.
I hear you.
Like blisters on my fingers because of the sweat.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you've also got a new project coming up. Is you've got an album, Energy in Motion Like,
Yeah,
and this is with you've got a new band.
I
Tell
want to
us a
mention
little bit
the
about this whole project.
yeah. So I mentioned the musicians. So we've got Dre Energy on drums, an amazing player. Andrew Weir on guitar, Brian Triol on keys, Charles McNeil on sax. Yeah, I'm loving it, mate. Like, good to play in a band, like with my own music. Like, so we've got a promotional video out. With what we're looking for is management. If there's any managers out there who want to take us on, because you know, like that's what we need, like to get a booking agent. And I want to get on the road. I want to tour. We've got the music. We've got the band.
Hmm.
We're ready to go.
And is the music your own composition, or how is all the band contributing to
Yeah.
the writing?
So yeah, it's all my own music. I wrote the album about 4 years ago,
Okay.
but getting it out and stuff, like it's been difficult in England putting a band together. Like, I mean, just everyone's a bit useless. Like I'm not pointing any fingers, but like yeah. So coming over here, it's a lot more professional and like good, like.
Yeah. Well, and especially in California, in Los Angeles area, in the Southern California, you have a wealth of musicians, and a lot of people, even from the rest of the country, have migrated to California because they know that there
Yeah,
may be opportunities if you're, you're in the right place and you network, which is a really important part of this. You get to know the players and who you can count on and who's going to be dependable and all of that stuff. So it's a great place to start. And is your music predominantly, because again, with Dr. Funk, are we looking at funk music, or how would you describe your album?
well, it's a bit of everything really. Like it is primarily funk,
Mm-hmm.
but like what I like, well, obviously the rock and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I love rock music, so my my music would be rock primarily. Well, not primarily, but like rock funk.
Mm-hmm.
I want to for my next album, I want to kind of take it progressive, like a bit of progressive funk rock. That's
Gotcha.
what I want to do for the next album. Get a bit more creative with the ideas and stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, and it is one of the things with musical genres. There is a lot of blend over as you take what you like and you take what you bring from other places, and geography makes a huge difference when you're in the right place and you have influences that are giving you kind of feedback and stuff. We come up with new things. So it has gotten really hard to define what. Now, an important thing we should talk about, as I know people would like to know, how are you getting your sound? What gear are you playing on?
So at the minute, my bass that I use is a Bassworks Luthieri Dr. Funk signature bass. It's the first of its kind. I can show you here if you want.
Sure.
It's just it's in my favorite color, which is Mustang green, and it's 24 frets. And if you see there, it says Dr. Funk on the top.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a really nice bass. Like I've got all these knobs for different tones, like which I'm still messing about with, you know. But yeah, that's the bass that I use. On the street when I busk, I use a RC3 loop pedal, just one little loop pedal,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got to hit it twice to stop it. That takes a bit of getting used to, you know, because you got
Yeah.
to do the beat before, and it's one time to loop it, so it's the RC3. And when I busk, I use an EV Everse 8. So I used to use the Roland Cube here, which is just sitting here
Yeah.
because it's absolutely battered. It's been through the wars. I've had it for like
There you go.
years. Look at that. It was actually in a car crash. Like,
Oh no.
yeah, and it survived. It was in
Wow.
the boot. The car hit the boot. It went through my piano, and it survived. The amp survived. So
That is a serious endorsement for the structure of the
it isn't
cube.
it. That should be endorsing me, like.
Are there any other particular elements? Do you have a preference in strings or any other things to help you get your sound?
Well, I think I've just been endorsed by DR Strings.
Okay.
I've not received anything from them yet, but like up till then, I've been using Elixirs. Like I'm not endorsed by them either. So, but
Mhm.
I just feel like they last the longest. You know,
Yes.
they've got a nice lasting. So, but apparently DR, that's what DR said that are going to do as well. They've got nano web technology too now, so
Mm,
hopefully they last as long. You know.
nice. Well, and you certainly will subject them to some severe conditions, which is really what makes a difference. Also, what we've heard from a lot of players, especially if you're in a situation where you sweat, as you mentioned with the heat, if your chemistry, your body chemistry is kind of on the acid side, it will kill strings really quickly.
Yeah,
And unless you're playing reggae, you want some brighter tones and things out of that.
yeah.
And so Elixir, I've heard good things about most of the nano web technology and kind of coding that can help. Otherwise, you're busy trying to resurrect the
Yeah.
life of your strings, and that's just it's a lot of work.
I know. I tried. Well, you know, do the boiling the strings.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's tried that, haven't they? Put them on the washing line to dry. But every time I did that, like I feel like they just snap like a week later, like you know,
Yeah.
just like ruins them.
Gotcha. So as we look ahead, I know that you've got the new album, and I know you're looking for management, and along with that, probably touring the album. Do you have any tentative future plans? Anything in the works?
So we don't have any gigs as of yet.
Okay.
That's what you mean. We're just looking for management really. I'm in the talks with a couple of managers, but still they play the field, see what's out there, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just I'm really excited to move forward. I've moved to California from England, you know, it's a big change. Like,
Seriously.
yeah, I mean the weather's awesome, like you know, I can't complain about that.
Yeah.
But I just really want to move forward. Like that's like I play on the streets as much as I can,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fun, but no one really cares, you know. Like when you play on the street, which is fine.
Yeah.
It means I get to practice, but I want to like I've made a big following online. I feel I can do a lot more.
Nice. Well, and if people, because I'm sure there's going to be people who see this and they're going to want to know if you've come up with a tour or you got anything, where would be the best place for folks to look to find that information?
So on my Facebook is where I do the most updates because
Okay.
it's where I've got the biggest following. But when I do get it out, it'll be on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I do have that now. Yeah,
Gotcha. And also, you have your website, drfunkbase.com.
that's it. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Jonny, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. Really excited about Energy in Motion Like. We're hoping to see you guys get touring so you can be in venues near everybody who's listening to this. Folks, you've seen him here on Bass Musician Magazine. Jonny Rubin,
Nice one.
aka Dr. Funk.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having us.